Let's chat about that. Hey, Tribe. It is another edition of Let's Chat About That with Savvy Shay. And I'm going to delve right into it because I know that this is a topic that all of us that have changed jobs have encountered from time to time. And that is that nervousness, one, of starting over, but two, starting over doing something outside of what we've been doing possibly for years, where we have perfected our craft and we are just amazing at it. And then we get this itch and this urge to try something new, and we do it, and we get there, and it's like, Lord, why has thou forsaken me? Trust me, been there time and time and time and time again, because I've changed jobs quite a lot. So I want to give you some tips that you can use as you overcome your new job jitters. So let's delve right into it. I want to, of course, start with giving you some data because that's the type of educator that I am. I like the data. So, according to Pew Research, about 4 million people changed jobs between January and March of 2022. So we're talking about at one of the high periods of what they framed the Great Resignation period. So it is not uncommon, it is not unheard of, it is not new for lots and lots of people to change jobs. So if you have apprehension about changing jobs because you're thinking, oh my God, I was supposed to stay in this field for 15, 20, 30 years until I retire, them days done. Okay. The times of people staying in roles, specifically the same role for their entire career, is almost obsolete. So you need to, number one, get rid of that thought that there's something wrong because you want to change jobs or because you have changed jobs. Because I'm gonna give you a tip for teachers specifically. If you leave the classroom to do whatever else it is you want to try to do, and you don't like it, if you leave your school right, if you leave on good terms with that principal, with that school district, you can go back. And there's no shame in that either. Because everything ain't for everybody, and some people just really need to be in the classroom to feel alive. And that's okay too. But let's talk about what you can do in the meantime, in between time, while you're at your new job. And again, because I want to give you a little visual, I have what I'm calling the stagger shade strategy for winning at work. So the first thing is one of my favorite little slogans is preparation prevents poor performance. Now I know there are a couple more words in there, but we're gonna go with the clean version, okay? This is a Christian show. All right. Anytime you are going into a new job, you need to prepare as best you can. You won't know everything, you don't know all the details because it's new. You've not done it before. Even if you are teaching in one school and you go to teach at a different grade level or a different school, you still have to prepare because the culture and the environment is going to be different. So you could have been teaching for 15 years, teaching the same grade in the same school, move from one grade to the next grade, and things are going to change. So you need to make sure that you are prepared, that you have researched exactly what it is that you're going into. If you're going into a leadership role, that you have researched the data. What do the numbers say about that institution, about that school? What do the people say? What are the streets saying about this school that you're about to go and start leading in this new capacity so that you can be prepared for what is coming towards you and for you? Second tip, be positive. You got the job. They hired you. You applied, you interviewed one, two, three times, and now you've arrived. So you need to celebrate yourself because other people applied and didn't get this opportunity that you had. So you need to be positive. Remember why you made the decision to change jobs in the first place. Okay? Visualize your success. How does this move align with your short term goals and your long term goals? And where do you see yourself in 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years? Whether it's on that same job or in this same field or not. When you arrive at that new destination, you need to see yourself being successful, which takes me to setting realistic expectations. If you've been doing one thing for a period of time and you switch, your realistic expectations need to start with understanding that you don't know everything about that job. You might not know anything about that job, just enough to really get that pinky toe in and get the job. You knew enough to get it, but what got you there is not going to keep you there. So you need to be sure that when you are setting your goals with your new supervisor, that you're being realistic. Okay, there should be no 100% goals or anything like that, even with attendance, because life be life. Okay, so you need to set smart goals that are realistic, that you can truly attain during your first day, first week, first month, first 30, 60, 90 days. Going with the plan, again, goes back to the person with preparation. Get a new routine. Every new level requires a new version of you. So that means if you're used to getting up at 7 o'clock, get up at 6 o'clock. If you have devotion at 6:30, have it at 6:15. If you drive the same road all the time, take a new road. Do some things different. If you haven't been meal prepping, start a meal prep. If you're not a coffee drinker, get tea, right? Set a new routine because this is a new you, and old keys won't open new doors. So if you keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity. So you want to start a new routine. Get up at a different time. Get some different outfits. That of course they haven't seen the old outfits, but get some new clothes that fit your new lifestyle and your new body and what you're going to be doing, because you are truly going to be a different person. You're the same person internally, but your work version of yourself is going to be different. So you need to prepare for that by getting yourself a new routine. And here's one thing that I started doing about 3 years ago for this current job that I'm in, and that's starting a new job journal where, as you are communicating with folks, as you are gathering information, that you start yourself that new job journal where you are watching and listening to everything. My superintendent used to call it ask, analyze, and assess. So everything that you're seeing, every person you talk to, you're taking copious notes, whether that be verbally and you're talking it into your phone or your tablet. If you're old school like me, you want to write it down, whichever method works for you. But start your new job journal where you're able to reflect on what you have done in the early days. And it's going to make you laugh in the latter days, or may even make you cry as you see how far that you have come from when you first started the job. So start that new job journal and let that be the place where, when you are not having fun, where you're thinking, oh my God, I made a mistake, where you have that urge to go back to your previous employee because things were so great, go into that journal and write down and acknowledge those feelings, because that is important. That's a part of self-care. This is a big one, a big one. Listen more and talk less. When you go into a new environment, you need to be very, very, very observant. All right. You don't know how everything operates. You don't know how particular people are about parking. You don't know who paid for the coffee that's in the coffee maker. Like, you don't know the tenor. So in order for you to calm your own nerves, listen more and talk less. Okay. But when you are talking, make sure that what you're saying makes sense, that it's logical, and that you're asking questions to gain understanding. You don't have to go in and prove why you deserve to be there. You did that during the interview process. Again, back to being positive. You have landed the job. So nobody should be expecting you to come in and just hit the ground running, because that's not a realistic expectation. And that doesn't align with where you want to be on your first few days on the job. Okay. So listen more, talk less, and when you are talking, ask questions and ask for help. There is no shame in asking, can you show me how to do this? What's the best way to do this? I've not experienced this before. How do you do it? Or, in my former position, I remember we did this part. How do you all do it here? There is absolutely nothing wrong with that, because it's better for you to ask questions and learn how to do it and do it right than go out and assume you know what to do and do it wrong. Specifically, if you are dealing with something that has a great magnitude of impact, like, let's say you're the social media manager and you're putting posts out there and you're putting misinformation. That's not going to be a good look. Okay. If you are dealing with anything on people's money and you get that wrong, that's never going to go good. Never, ever, 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 ever. Okay. If you're going into leadership and you don't know who's connected to who, especially if you work in smaller areas and you say something about somebody and it is their relative, mama, daddy, brother, sister, brother, cousin, you just don't know. Okay. So ask for help and ask for specific types of help. Don't say, can you help me with X? Be specific in what you're asking for, because that shows people that you're being thoughtful and you're respectful of their time. Not being afraid to ask questions is what's going to help you overcome your jitters. Okay? Get organized. I cannot stress this enough. If you're going into an office space, you don't have to take everything that's in your home office. You don't have to go to Ross or TJ Maxx or even a Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby and get all the little signs about be awesome, you're great. Like, you don't have to do all of that. You need to keep it simple and stay organized. Utilize the technology, your calendar, scheduling apps. If you're in an office environment, if you're a sticky note person and you need multicolored sticky notes, if you like specific types of pens, whatever those things are that help you stay organized, because that's going to take you a long way. And also, as you are asking questions and you're meeting new coworkers and you're setting goals and expectations, you know that there's a place for everything and everything in its place. Now, some people, like me, operate in what's called organized chaos, where it may look chaotic to you, but I know exactly where this is. I can reach up under this red folder that's turned this way and go to the third page, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. If that's your organization style, cool. But don't do that in the beginning, okay? Because everybody's trying to figure out who you are and build an impression of you, and you don't want to be inauthentic or fake, but you also don't want them to get the impression that they can't work well with you because you're not organized, okay? And lastly is to accept your new reality. Have you ever heard or used the expression, this is surreal? I didn't know what that word really meant until I was graduating with my doctorate, and I'm sitting there and we're on the front row and we're getting all these acknowledgments and kudos, for being this cohort of African-American students who are graduating with this doctorate. I'm in my regalia and my family's there, and it's like, wow, this is surreal. Like, I can't believe that this is the same little girl from the trailer park, right? That was a manager at McDonald's at 17, that was a middle school teacher, right? This can't be the same person. It is and it isn't, right? You're the same person. Your name is whatever your name is. But again, every new role requires you to be a new version of your work self, because you're doing something different with different people in a different environment for a different result with a different impact. And that's okay. Accept the fact that you are not the number one person, the go-to person like you may have been before. Okay? And that's okay. Because guess what? If you did it before, okay. You could do it again. Typically we're talking about what the Lord has done. But in this instance, I'm talking about if you have been a high performer before, you can become a high performer again. Why? Because you've already done it. You know that work ethic that it takes to become a high performer. You know the steps that you took before to be a high performer. It's just that you're doing them in a different place at a different level. So you can get back there, but you don't need to go in with the mindset of, well, I was ace boom coon here. I was top dog. I was number one. And then you go here and it's like, nobody knows who I am. Nobody respects me. Nobody's coming to me for stuff. Like, that's okay for you to not be the number one stunner. Because I promise you, if you put in the work, if you prepare, if you're positive, if you're visualizing your success, if you're setting realistic expectations for yourself, if you establish a new routine, you get that job journal, you're writing down things, you're listening more, talking less. But when you are talking, you're saying something with Mary, you're asking questions, you're asking for help, you go and organize, and you accept the new reality that you're in a new place to do a new thing that's going to continue to impact students, because you're an educator in your heart. You're never going to not educate. You're never going to not teach and help and inspire, because that's who you are at your core. You can't help it. And so that's not going to leave you. You're just doing it in a new way, and that's okay. So I hope that you can take these strategies to overcome your new job jitters and know and believe in yourself. You took a risk, and now it's time for you to see reward. but it begins with you being prepared, being organized, and being ready for this new adventure. Thank you so much for joining me for another edition of Let's Chat About That. Again, we do this every Thursday night at 7 o'clock because I want to help encourage you because you have what it takes. And as I end every presentation that I have, I want to remind you that there is a friend that's sticking closer than a brother, and his name is Jesus. Try him for yourself, and I promise you, he will change your life. Until next time, see ya.